Hey guys, People Clueless Gamers back to react to The Flash, Season 3, Episode 2, Paradox. So, it seems like the title is kind of taking inspiration from Flashpoint Paradox. We're kind of continuing our story of last week, which was, we kind of wrapped up Flashpoint, but then kind of didn't because we're not back in our original timeline here. It's still a paradox, where it seems like Wally and Iris have switched positions. That Wally was the sibling, the character that grew up with Barry, and that Joe raised, and Iris was kind of the one that maybe Joe didn't know about for a long time and things like that. So that's what seems like is going on here. Probably due to some of the Reverse Flash's meddling. I don't know when he had time to do that and shave his beard all after he, killed Barry's mother. But last week, great episode. Really enjoyed it. I think they could have maybe extended the Flashpoint, thing a little bit longer, even in just that universe. There was... overall, the rival in it was good. Seeing Wally in the Kid Flash outfit for the first time. The great conversation between Barry and Eobard was great. Seeing Barry interact with his parents and things like that. And Iris, the new Cisco, new Caitlin. Really enjoyed that stuff. Interested to see how different this universe is. Is it just, I highly doubt it's just the Wally-Iris thing. What else is switched in this universe? Is Caitlin and Cisco different again? Are they back to normal? Is only certain characters change? Is there another Flash still around here? Is Wally the Flash? I doubt it. It seems like, his dad's been killed by Zoom and everything else, but there's probably going to be little changes, I assume, throughout the episode. Other than that, I just want to get on with this episode here, so without further ado, here we go. Why couldn't Wally heal last week? Felicity's in this episode, okay.
So I reset everything, I put everything back to the way that it was before.
She has no idea what you're talking about.
We're not even a little...
Slow down.
So they know each other still.
Calm, thief.
Alright, so Cisco doesn't have
Get to the gym.
kind of the happiness that he used to. Maybe someone died, his brother in this universe?
You kissed Iris.
Well, not anymore. I kissed Iris about twice, and I managed to erase both times.
Exactly. Every time he kisses Iris, he erases it.
That's just the least of my problems.
This is an interesting story. He's like telling the story of how different his life is to Felicity while eating Chinese food. I like it. Okay, so she's mad because Joe didn't tell her that her mother was alive? Okay, so that's how that worked out here.
Yes, the skin husk we've been finding around.
And a new CSI. So what is Barry?
Humans. This is now the fourth one.
Well, let's figure out what's happening before this.
That's Felton, right? From the Harry Potter series. Not a Harry Potter fan, so I don't know.
Everybody likes Barry Allen. You're like pudding. Everybody likes pudding.
Not everyone.
Yeah, not everyone likes Barry. So yeah, so he's looking for Cisco now too. Like piecing the story together.
I think the thing that haunts me the most is the fact that
Support
I never
group.
told him I loved him, or that I idolized him.
So his brother died, didn't he? And so they have a problem together, a conflict. Maybe Barry was somehow responsible for his death.
Baby John.
Oh,
God, it really can affect us.
Okay, you know what?
wow.
I don't know anymore.
So it changed the whole world,
Sure, but everything's gonna be
like it should.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, fix the world to the way it was, Barry. Listen there, for once. So maybe Alchemy is giving him visions of that other timeline. Alright, so Alchemy wants them to meet. And he's probably the only one that can see or hear Alchemy in this case, so he looks like a nut. Alright, so maybe Alchemy has a cult following? That's kind of cool. It's voiced by the guy from Saw, right? Sounds like him. Alright, so he's basically breaking down Edward, who seemingly had a good life. Looked like he was either going out or married to someone last week when they were sleeping in the same bed together. And now he's kind of mentally breaking him down and maybe tapping into those desires he always had for power, for speed, and things like that. And he's bringing it out in this Edward. So very interesting there. Yeah, Felicity was good for that part there, if that's the only part she's in the episode. It was cool how Barry was explaining, all the little changes and things like that. And we got at least one confirmation of a change it did make to Arrow. I was hoping they said Laurel came back, but maybe in due time. But it was good. I liked it. Alright, so they have a rival. No pun intended. So, Caitlin's hair also looks different too. What did Barry do that caused
Do you think maybe you
the
could
drunk driver accident?
No.
The awkwardness. There you go.
Okay.
Alright, Wally.
So,
Help a brother out.
Wally, I'm the only one that thinks that's a good idea.
Pull him out of the fire.
The Flash really takes vacations.
Especially
Also
when
true.
I can't tell you anything.
Oh god. No. No.
Really? Because that's not what I was told.
Oh, it's all collapsing in on itself.
Claire's?
Alright. Yeah, that's a shock from the past there. The Alchemy maybe is blurring the lines between these timelines here. Hopefully all these villains carry over to when we eventually get back to where we were. But I like this. I like that we're still not in our right timeline and there's just new challenges Barry's going through here every week in whatever timeline he's in. It reminds me of all those Flash Reverse Flash battles. That's cool. I like the way he looks in fast motion there, Rival. Nice tackle, Barry. There you go. Damn, man. That is hitting him. CGI looked pretty good there. And into the dock he goes.
Right now.
Just tell her. Tell her it's a different timeline.
This thing between us, it cannot happen.
Oh, there's the ultimatum. Try to go back in time once again, Barry. What do you got to lose? Do it again. Do it again and again until you can try to get it right. Is it a wraith? Did a time wraith pull him out of it? He's messing too much with time.
Flash.
Oh shit!
Let me put these on.
It's Jay!
We need to talk.
Yeah. About how much you're fucking up the timeline, Barry. Give him a lesson, Jay.
Here. 1998.
It's an old CW show on the TV there.
There are consequences to time travel.
Definitely. Ask Eobard. That's a cool shot.
But we're not gods. We're men. And for whatever reason.
That's a great line.
And move forward.
I agree. Take your mother's advice when you were in the Speed Force last season. Tragedies will not stop happening to you. You need to move forward. I know it's hard. Now take Jay's advice. Move forward. Use the board. The board, it always comes in handy in this situation. He's emotional with this. He should be.
Really put it back together.
Good acting by Grant Gustin. Damn. So he must have denied him in this universe to change the timeline. That's why they have, Cisco has such disdain for him. Is he Vibe here as well? Damn, so he's gonna try to just straight up live in this timeline based on Jay's advice, but at some point he's gonna be able to fix it. Maybe with Jay's help? Because we will get back to our original timeline.
Regeneration seemed to occur.
Maybe the husks are the way Alchemy takes people out of other timelines, protects them, and puts them in another timeline. The sawmill.
Yes.
Wasn't it the same place that they met in the other timeline? I think it was, yeah. Oh shit. Alchemy? Oh shit. That's the stone he gets the power from, right?
A little quaking in your boots would be appropriate.
That's what Kid Flash said to him. Wow, so this is... I bet Alchemy is behind all of this. I guarantee these husks or whatever they are is ways Alchemy transports people from different realities and puts them into whatever reality he wants. I bet he has the ability to do something like that. Otherwise, I don't know what they could be. That Iris be the voice of reason. Support your man. There we go. Alright. Repaired those two. Now we gotta repair Barry and Cisco. Damn. He stabbed him with his own lightning bolts. The rival is a cool villain so far. I hope he stays around. Shit, you're in a sawmill. Well. Oh, shit. There you go, Cisco in here. There you go. So he is Vibe fully in this universe with gauntlets and everything. Help out your bro. And don't die. Teamwork. Teamwork, yes. Hit him back and forth. And very cool.
Sorry it took so long. You're just in time.
That was a good moment. That's it. I still think we're not going to live on from this universe, but very cool to see all these different changes and that they progressed. Iris was the voice of reason, and they moved forward. And at the moment, they're living with the changes that are happening.
Doctor that way, don't you think?
There's the name.
Don't pretend like Dr. Alchemy doesn't have a nice ring to him.
Okay, well, that explains...
A little bit back to normal.
Then I'm coming too.
You should tell Wally, though, that he had speed, because that actually could be useful information in this case. Slow steps. Baby steps. He'll come back.
Maybe someday. It'd be pretty bitchin'.
There you go. It's going to be some slow steps, but you'll get there.
I mean, unless you're secretly moonlighting as an ophthalmologist.
A what?
Kidding, nothing. Just a Flashpoint joke.
I don't like that foreshadowing. I knew it. I knew it. That's what I said. I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, is she Killer Frost? She is in this universe. So in this universe, maybe she's not bad, but she has those powers.
I don't trust.
It's kind of fair.
See you tomorrow. Remember?
He's probably Alchemy, and then he's going to find out he's Barry, I guarantee.
And I'll always be Iris.
You always be together in a way.
And we always find each other.
Yep, that's what it seems like. Is he going to kiss her? And then this timeline, highly doubt is going to stay as well. So it'll be another time, like the fourth time he's kissed her, where he's erased the timeline. Because I guarantee this is not our timeline we're going to stick with. Holy shit, what the hell was that? That was not Alchemy. That totally was not Alchemy. What the hell did he just bring into this universe? Alright guys, so that was my reaction there to The Flash, Season 3, Episode 2, Paradox. So, yeah, that is the best way to describe it. This Paradox weird universe. A lot of information in this episode. A lot of changes. We are still, not surprisingly, not in our correct timeline. There's no way, and I don't even think I would want it this way, that we stick in this timeline or any other timeline that wasn't our timeline from the first two seasons. We are somehow going to get back to that. You could try to change it however you want. There is so significant changes in some respects, like Caitlin being Killer Frost, that there's no way we're not getting back to our timeline. But it was cool to dabble in this again. I would say main points here of the episode. Ooh, God, there's a lot of them. I would first start, honestly, with Alchemy. I think his could be the most interesting story here. And I'll kind of tie this in with Julian, right? So I think Tom Felton from the Harry Potter series, never really watched them, only like a couple of them, so let me know down below. I totally have a feeling that he's Alchemy. Now, if it's been confirmed that he's Alchemy, do not tell me that down below, because I do not want to know. But if you're like me and doesn't know anything, theorize with me down below. So I think he is Alchemy. It just seems fitting. I don't know how else to describe it, just kind of classic CW bad guy. But, you know, could be wrong. Thought Thea's boyfriend all last season, Alex, was going to be bad again. Wasn't, just died. So, interesting, I would say, the least. He has seemingly the Sorcerer's Stone. I don't know a ton about Alchemy, Dr. Alchemy, so educate me down below without any spoilers. But, powerful. I think these husks have to do with him basically protecting people throughout the timeline and ripping them from other universes or so, or knowing he has visions he knows of the other timelines, and he was able to know what Clarice was in that timeline and put him in this timeline. Now, I don't know if Clarice is dead now. I'm assuming that basically whatever the hell that was there at the end that Alchemy summoned killed Clarice. If that's the case, I'll kind of be sad. Not like I want the rival to be like the new villain of the season and he's like the new speedster or something else, but I do want him to be kind of a recurring villain, maybe even after the season or at least in the season, because it's nice to populate. I know a lot of people, they hate having new speedsters on the show, and it's always, but to be honest, it's really hard to have an entire season on a TV budget to fight Grodd or something. Like, who else is Barry going to fight besides another speedster? I think Alchemy is a good opponent. So we'll see, where he goes with that. But again, if we rewrite the timeline, maybe Clarence could come back. I don't think he's done. He could be on a 2-episode arc, but I don't think he's done at all. The second main point, again, like last week, is the changes to our characters. Checking in with our characters. So we have Caitlin as Killer Frost. Dante is dead in this universe, so Cisco is deeply affected by it and also had a hate towards Barry because he wouldn't go back in time, especially when he found out that Barry went back in time to save his family. Joe and Iris didn't talk because Joe didn't tell Iris that her mother was still alive in this universe, which he did in the our correct Earth 1 universe, whatever. I'm just calling it our prime universe, our universe. And she didn't have kind of the same reaction that she did here, so it was a little bit changed there. Wally seems, for the most part, he's kind of close with Barry. He seems like he's the one that maybe grew up with Barry, but maybe not now that I'm watching it. Maybe he came in just the same way, and in that time that he came in and got close with Joe, Iris also drifted away because of Joe not telling, her about, her mother and things like that. Those, I don't know, Captain Singh, minor things, we didn't see him, but, he's back as the police captain. We have this guy Julian around. So, so there's little changes here and there to the universe, but we didn't see enough characters besides that. Iris still a journalist, only has this really problem with her dad, but other than that, her and Barry are still a thing. I think Cisco's kind of hate towards Barry also affected Barry and Caitlin's relationship, where they're kind of not the same. She kind of seems to side way more with Cisco, and they have a stronger connection than with Barry and things like that. So a lot of awkwardness going around this episode. My third point, however minor it was, is Jay Garrick. I mean, crazy that he shows up in this episode. Wells, we find out here, at least in this timeline for the time being, when he was figuring out, I guess, how to get Jade from Earth 2 to Earth 3, he filled him in on he was Barry's, dad's doppelganger and, all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then through being a speedster, sees that Barry is continually messing with time because, Wells told him he was in a bad place and things like that. And he's continually messing with time. And Jay, I thought it for a second it was a timeline. Jay pulls him out of that timeline and is like, listen, you got to live with this timeline that you're in. It'll never go completely back to the way it was, which I think it will at some point. But for the story's sake at this point, that was a good conversation. It was also cool that they took place in, 1998 or whatever they had their conversation. I'm pretty sure that was Dawson's Creek or something that was on the TV screen, which is an old CW show, but if I'm wrong, let me know down below. But that was a pretty cool, funny little Easter egg there. Those are kind of the main points I would say here. If, the Killer Frost thing is a big deal. So, if that's going to carry over in this universe, when it goes back to the original timeline, or are we going to, have a little bit of that changed here? She doesn't seem like she's a bad person, just seems like she has her powers. And another little tidbit that's not a main point, but a little tidbit is Cisco seemingly is more developed. He has the gauntlets, he has more of the kind of reverb powers of actually sending out the vibes out of his hand. So that was really cool to kind of see him an upgrade there, and he's slowly going to start coming back to, to Barry and then becoming friends again. It's not, again, a main point, but I liked Iris's speech there of bringing them back together, moving on. It's not, I like how it wasn't just a quick sudden fix. Like, it's going to take time if we stay here, for Barry to mend his relationship with Cisco, to maybe reconnect with, Caitlin again in some respect and deal with eventually finding out she's Killer Frost. Because I don't think anyone knows. I think only she knows. I don't think she's told anyone. Speaking of secrets, we all have our secrets. Well, that bodes large, I would say, now, seeing that she has a secret, that she would be that voice of reason in that moment. It's going to take time, I think, for Iris and Joe. They seem pretty quickly to get back together, but I think it's going to take a little bit more time there. And I think we're going to see more changes to this universe next week. The fourth point, I guess I would main point, definitely is this crossover here with Arrow. I like, and Felicity. I like how we're doing more of these mini crossovers in the universe. I don't know if they'll really do that with Supergirl, even though technically if Cisco keeps, refining his powers, he could just jump between universes. But I like how we're doing, a little touchstones that we're not just episode 8 of every season is basically our major crossover like it will be this season. And then for the most part, we never maybe even mention the other shows again. So Felicity, I have her, problems with her that I won't go into here, but she was funny, she was good, she served the purpose for the story, had no problem whatsoever. I don't hate her like other people do. I hate what they've done with her character, but I'm always holding out hope for our characters that they'll come back to the way they were. Great that Barry filled her in with the story, filled us in with the story of what was going on. They're eating Chinese food, really cool. We saw a little Arrow change. In John, instead of having baby Sarah, he had baby John. So a little bit of a change there, but otherwise, it seemed like Oliver was still the Arrow. And that's up for a second. I thought that they were going to say maybe Laura was alive, but I think we might get that in due time. But and I think more changes are going to reverberate here out of these enormous continuous paradoxes that Barry keeps creating. So yeah, those would be my main points. Another little tidbit I just want to finish on here is if anyone, again, if it's been confirmed, don't tell me, but if you don't know anything like me, theorize down below, who the hell do you think came into Edward Claris's cell there? Do you think the rival is dead? Do you think he'll come back at some other point? Who was this villain, seemingly that, as that did not look like Alchemy? Who did Alchemy pull out of another timeline, another world to come kill him? Kind of like a big dude, mechanized kind of arm plating he had there. So any theories you have down below, definitely give me, for those, because I would really like to know. If you know it's been confirmed, don't let me know. But if you're in the dark like me, please give me your theories. I would love to hear them. So overall, guys, that's my thoughts here on Season 3, Episode 2 of The Flash Paradox. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What you liked about the episode, what you did not like about the episode. What do you think is to come for this universe? How long will it take us to get back to our original universe? Are we going to get back there? Are we going to learn more about these characters next week, like i.e. Caitlin in Killer Frost? Is she going to, tell them? Do you think, or have any theories on who Dr. Alchemy is? Do you think it could be Julie in here? And what other little changes do you think, or maybe big changes, do you think we're going to see going forward? Are we going to see the rival again? Who was there at the end? All that stuff. Let me know all that stuff down below. Any of your theories, your thoughts, any Easter eggs I missed in this episode, let me know them down below. And any other thoughts you have on this episode, let me know them down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends if you'd be so kind. Until next week of The Flash, guys, thanks for watching.